Hello everyone, Basic Ollie here. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another video. Now today I thought I'd make a video on what the top 5 best cars are to buy on iRacing. Now whether you're experienced or you're brand new to iRacing, sometimes it can be quite confusing to decide what cars you should buy on iRacing, whether that's due to just the cost of them or what car you should really buy for the series that you want to run. So I thought I'd make a video on what I personally think are the top 5 cars to buy on iRacing. So without further delay, let's crack on with the video. These cars are not in any particular order at all. They're completely random, but these are my top 5 cars I think you should purchase on iRacing. Alrighty then, starting with car number 1. That is the Ferrari 296 GT3. This has just been introduced to iRacing for this season, and let me tell you, this thing is a dream. It is super easy to drive. The handling is great, and it is very welcoming to all drivers, beginners or experienced. It's easy to extract the pace from this car. It has a very, very useful dashboard with useful information such as the tyre pressures and the actual temperatures on the tyres themselves. It's a good looking car, it sounds great, and the amount of series it can run in is absolutely huge. I don't actually think there's another car on this game. Well, GT3s can actually do all these series actually, but when it comes to series, I think the GT3s are extremely popular, but I think this GT3 in particular, the Ferrari, just has one extra series on all the other GT3s, and I think this car has to be the most popular car in terms of how many different series it can do. It can do several. It can do several series. So I'll go through that list for you right now. So if there's a GT3 you're looking to buy, I definitely recommend the Ferrari 296 GT3 because the amount of things it can run in is silly. Silly. So let's quickly go through them then. So for Class D, straight away, so as soon as you get out of rookies and you buy the Ferrari, you can go straight into the Ferrari GT3 Challenge. And you can also, if you're feeling a bit spicy, you're feeling a little bit risque as such, you want to go from, you know what, I'm going to go from Ferrari GT3 Challenge straight into a 4-hour solo series. Or you can do it with your teammate, of course, if you have any teammates that you want to run it with. Yeah, the Ferrari 296 GT3 is the one for you because you can go straight from rookies to Class D, and there's 2 series for you straight away. Once you get promoted from then, you can then do Class C, which is the VRS Endurance Series. I maybe avoid doing that though because you can't do the VRS Sprint Series. I don't know why that is the case. I don't know why that in a particular order, but from Class D, you've got 2 series. In Class C, you also have the VRS Endurance Series. So already you've got 3 series right there. Moving on to Class B, you've got the VRS Sprint, which is the shortened version of the VRS Endurance Series. You've also got the GT3 Fixed as well, which is even shorter version of the VRS Sprint. And you've also got the Global Endurance Series that runs every 2 weeks, which is a 6-hour series. So you can run it also in that. And then finally, once you've got to Class A, you can also do IMSA Fixed and IMSA Opened. Now, if you think that was a big list of series that you can already run, you're forgetting about the special events as well. Just to name a few, Daytona 24, Spa 24, Nürburgring 24, Petit Le Mans, the list goes on and on. This thing can really be used in so many different series. It's a great car to drive, easy to extract the pace, looks good, sounds great. Value for money in terms of how much you can do by just buying this one car is probably the best on the service. So I can highly recommend Ferrari 296 GT3. If you haven't purchased yet and you're thinking of purchasing it, do it. If you own it already, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Ferrari 296 GT3 has to be up there with one of the cars to buy on this sim. Coming in at number 2, for me personally, is the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car. This car is a huge step up from anything you use in the D-License series, purely because of how it drives. It's a massive change. You have no traction control, you have no ABS, and you have far less downforce than anything you may have experienced in the Ferrari Fixed, if you're using the Ferrari Fixed in Class D, which is a GT3 car. Whilst the Porsche does sound scary, and to be honest with you, it is a little bit scary, it can teach you so much, and it really makes you appreciate what good traction control and what good ABS is like these days, you know. I think we take traction control and ABS for granted. And jumping in this thing can teach you an awful lot about what it's like to drive without them, and it makes you really appreciate just how good these modern systems are. So Porsche Cup for me is definitely a driver's car. If you can go fast in a Porsche Cup car, they say you can go fast in anything. You really are a fantastic driver if you can go quick in the Porsche Cup car. I'm still yet to master it, but every time I do jump in the car, I do enjoy it. But man, there are some quick boys and girls in the Porsche Cup car. But honestly, for a steep learning curve, this thing teaches you so much, and I think it is definitely something to consider, and I think it has to be one of the cars that you do buy on iRacing. For that reason alone. Definitely a learner's car, teaches an awful lot, great fun to drive as well once you get used to it. It can be frustrating at times when you do lock up. Trust me, it will happen. But yeah, definitely one of the top 5 cars to buy on the service, in my opinion. Whilst the amount of series you could do in the car is limited, it will really make you work hard to get the most out of it for every series that you do enter, and it will teach you a lot moving on to anything in the higher classes. So whilst it's not, welcome to a huge amount of series, it's still a good car to buy. You've got Class D, which is a Nürburgring Endurance Series, so you can do the 4-hour solo series, or you can do it, as I said earlier, you can do it with teammates. So you can do it solo, or you can do it with your teammates, and that is Class D, so you can jump straight into endurance racing with it if you like. But Class C is predominantly where it hangs, which is the Porsche Open and Fixed Series. So you've got 2 series there, but you also have the Creventic Endurance Series. Now, this is a series that they only do like 4 races a year. So they're 12 hours long, and they are popular, but they are quite widely spaced apart. So I think the last one was maybe July, I think, and now there's not another one until December. I may have got those dates wrong, but there's definitely one in December. So yeah, they're quite widely spread out, but it's definitely worth participating in. The Porsche Cup car in endurance racing is actually a lot of fun, and I think it should be in more endurance races because it's a great car. Anyways, moving on to car number 3 then. One close to my heart, this one is the Cadillac V Series R GTP. Now, you can try and name me a better way to spend your time and your day than driving around in a 5.5 litre V8 monster, burning all those freedom litres, but I don't think you can name me a better thing to do to waste your day away on this sim. This thing is absolutely amazing. It's just one of the current 4 GTP cars that you can purchase on iRacing. But I have chosen this Cadillac GTP over the other 3 for 2 specific reasons. Firstly, the noise. This thing, whenever you jump into it, turn the engine on, it just makes you smile. A big, loud V8. It's always welcome in my eyes, and personally, I think it sounds better than any other GTP cars. Although they do sound good, I think this one trumps the lot of them. Plus, if you're doing a 24-hour race, you'd much rather be listening to this V8 than any of the other V8s, because I think this really sounds so much punchier than the other V8 GTP. So for noise alone, this is definitely one to go for. And this thing, when you drive it as well, it's very rewarding, and it's out of the GTPs, I think it's by far the easiest to drive. The Porsche is up there with it, but for me, the Caddy just beats it. It's very well balanced, super easy to drive quickly. Other GTP cars, you'll find that it takes a little bit more time to get up to pace with the Caddy. You can jump in the Caddy and say, like, do a 1:30, whereas the other 3 GTPs, you might do like a 1:31. It might take you a little bit of time to get up to pace. The GTPs are all actually quite well balanced since they've come out, and there's not much time between them, track dependent, of course, but if there's one GTP that you need to buy, it would be this, because you can just get up to pace with it, and it's just competitive wherever it goes compared to the other GTPs. You'll be absolutely fine. This one, out of the 4 GTPs, if you're looking at a GTP, this one is the one to go for, I think. And yeah, I think it's the most popular out of all the GTPs on the service. You'll probably find out of a lobby about, let's say, 50 GTPs. If there's a lobby of 50 GTPs, I'd say about at least 20-25 of them are going to be in the Caddy. It is the most popular, and there's a good reason for it. It's just a lovely car to drive, and yeah, if you're going to spend some time on the sim, you may as well listen to a big old 5.5 litre V8 whilst you're driving around in it. So yeah, car number 3, definitely the Caddy for me. And when it comes to series as well, it's a little bit limited, a little bit like the Porsche really. It's Class B, which is IMSA Endurance Series, so the 2 hour and 40 minute. Again, you can run it as a team or run it as a solo. And then you've also got the Class A, which is IMSA Open and IMSA Fixed. You also have several special events, such as the Sebring 12 hour, Daytona 24 hour, Petit Le Mans, and so on and so on. So series-wise, you don't really get anything out of it until you get to Class B, but there's a reason for that. It is, you know, extremely quick, lots of downforce. Multi-class racing is essentially where this thing sits. So you need to know exactly what you're doing when you're driving around in this car, because you will be the fastest class, so you need to know how to overtake slower classes, like the LMP2 and GT3s, so there's a reason why you have to be Class B or Class A to use it, but once you get there, 100% worth it. As soon as you can get to Class B and you want to choose a GTP, the Caddy is the one for you, I think personally. Definitely buy that car. Okay, car number 4 for me is quite surprised, really. I think anyone who watches my streams or videos will be quite surprised by this answer, but I actually think it's the Dallara P217. Now, this car is not what it used to be. It's been heavily bopped IRL, and iRacing have responded and bopped it quite a lot as well, so it does not have the downforce or just real pace that it used to have back in the day. It was too quick anyways back in the day on iRacing, but they've much slowed it down now. It's still a good car to drive, and it's definitely something you need to drive, I think, essentially before you jump into a GTP on iRacing. This will teach you a lot, this thing, because it has a good amount of downforce, quite high downforce actually. It's very light, only weighs about 930 kilos, and it is a great introduction to multi-class racing once you get to your B and A license. It is the middle class, generally out of the 3 classes you run in multi-class, which is GT3, LMP2, and LMDH. So you can really just jump in the Dallara LMP2 and start learning how to do some multi-class racing. It will teach you what it's like to be overtaken, and it will teach you what it's like to overtake as well. So it's definitely a really, really good stepping stone into multi-class racing. Now at the moment, it is kind of being pushed out a little bit because the GTPs are so popular on iRacing, but don't let it put you off. It's not the most popular car at the moment. It still gets good numbers compared to many, many other cars, but you will find that it's probably the least popular out of any of the IMSA classes. But trust me, it's still a great car to drive regardless of how it used to. It's still a good car to drive, in my opinion, and it'll teach you an awful lot. And it's definitely a stepping stone. You need a car to purchase if you're looking to get into your multi-class racing and to do some of the special events on iRacing. So definitely recommend it. Although it does suffer these days from, it's kind of got like a very weird tire model. The tires kind of drop off quite quickly, I find, compared to anything else on the system. But once you get used to that, you'll be absolutely fine. It does struggle some low downforce tracks such as Daytona, but like I said, don't let it put you off. It's definitely worth buying. Yeah, this comes in at number 4, and it is also the same kind of series as the Caddy, but there is an added series of the LMP2 Fixed. So you can do the IMSA Endurance Series, LMP2 Fixed, which is Class B, and then Class A is IMSA Open and IMSA Fixed, along with the special events, which is heavily involved in as well. So again, just like the Caddy, lots of special events that this thing can do. Now coming on to Formula 4 then, which is car number 5. So car number 5 is a Formula 4. Now this will come as a surprise to many, many people. But yeah, it comes as a surprise for a good reason, right? Because when you hear Formula 4, all you think of is a loss of I rating and a loss of SR, right? But I'm telling you right now, from experience of Formula 4, if you can get yourself in a clean lobby, right? A clean lobby, which is rare. But if you get yourself a clean competitive lobby, you have some of the best racing you will ever experience on a sim. The Formula 4 is absolutely amazing to drive when you're having good, clean racing. It's some of the best action you can have. It's absolutely superb. On the smaller tracks, it's absolutely brilliant. The fact it just weighs so little, it's got decent amount of downforce and low amount of power means you can really chuck this thing absolutely everywhere and into every corner, and it is great fun. Handling wise, super easy to get used to. Again, it teaches you about ABS as well, because there's no ABS in this thing, so it'll teach you about how to use cars without any sort of ABS. And I can only emphasize just how much fun this thing can be when you find yourself in a good lobby, because I've had some of the best races. I've made several videos actually in the Formula 4. I don't personally drive it as much as I really should. When it comes to streaming, it's quite tough because the race series are only like 15 minutes per race, and they're every hour, so streaming wise it's a little bit awkward for me. But if their races were a little bit longer, I'd definitely do more of them if there wasn't such a jump between series. And that actually leads me on to the series as well. It's only Class D, which is the FIA Formula Open and fixed. So that's the end of the list. Let me know if there's any cars you think I've missed out. Please put them in the comments. This is supposed to be a helpful video, so if you've got any other suggestions, please do put them in the comments. I haven't really covered any dirt or oval stuff because I'd be lying to you if I said I was an expert in them, because I'm not. I'm really not. So I thought I'd just cover what I think are the top 5 most popular cars on the service, I think, personally. If you're going to talk about, let's say, the NASCAR stuff, then maybe the trucks would be the way to go. You could get the next-gen cars for the special events, but if there's anything else, you'd miss out on. So that is a debate for another day. But let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this kind of video, please leave a like and give me some feedback. If you didn't like the video, please leave a dislike, and again, give me some feedback telling me why. But thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe if you feel interested enough in these videos. All right, help me out. But yes, take care. Thanks very much. Have a good one. Ta-da.